with another discussion, our digital circle, where I'll be joined by several of our key partners in talking about simplicity. How do we leverage low code to take the complicated CRM processes that most of us have seen in our past and make it easy? So great sessions that we have planned for today. And we also want to be sure to thank all of our partners that have taken place in our event, our Accelerate event. Without our partners, we couldn't pull together such great content. So we'd like to thank everyone that you see here on the screen for taking part in our Accelerate event. All right, so why don't we go ahead and get started? Day 8, exciting content. I'm going to turn it over to Tolga Artan. Tolga, are you out there? Waiting for Tolga. There we go. I see him coming in. Tolga, how are you? Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. I'm fine. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing very well. So I know the audience is waiting to hear your presentation. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Tolga. Looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to share my screen right now so that I can show my presentation.
All right.
Here it is. Eric, as you know, these are very challenging times for all over the world, and customer experience has changed a lot in the recent 2 years, and most of the things accelerated due to COVID influence in our lives, and this made huge changes in the customer experience and the technology based on customer experience. So I just try to summarize and try to wrap up some trends in the customer experience and try to give some insights how to keep up with these trends and how no-code can help us to keep up with these trends. And I'm sure that most of our audience has different experiences in reaching out their customers and trying to understand how they are feeling and how they are behaving in this new era, and trying to shift their attitudes and operations according to their analysis through this customer experience that they are trying to analyze. I want to give you some statistics about how people are changing in different parts of the world. And I think this is one of the most influential statistics that I have seen during this period. In most of the world, the COVID process has accelerated digitalization of the customer interactions in a very rapid and very rapid way. This made our lives very difficult in some phases, but the companies who are flexible and agile adopted this change and gained lots of benefits throughout their new customer interaction ways. And the change in the last 4 years is very surprising in most of the world, and right now the new lifestyle is being settled in different regions of the world and in our country also, and this new normal is a mix of digital and physical world, and but mainly the buying behavior of consumers, customers, has changed a lot, and they are adopted to buy digitally in terms of B2B interactions and in terms of B2C interactions also. And in this new era, a new shopping behavior has emerged as there is a tendency to change in consumer behavior as they have experienced new shopping methods, and they continue to use these shopping methods right now. They have experienced different brands, and which is very I think scary for most of the brands, as they want to keep up with their loyal customers. But the new shopping behavior is the consumers are voluntarily using different brands, and they are trying to understand how they can get benefits from different brands, different stores, different websites, and try to get leverage with these new shopping methods. And with the hybrid model, I believe this behavior change will continue throughout the years, and the companies who can adapt to this new shopping behavior also will chance to get new customers. And if they play it in a good way, they can keep these shopping behaviors, shopping customers within their customer portfolio. And with the new introduction of AI in the marketing scene, the AI is accelerating things a lot in terms of predictive insights. It helps us to understand how our customers are behaving in our digital channels, and we can create predictive insights throughout their behaviors. And also it helps us to minimize our efforts for personalization in different parts of our marketing campaigns, which is also because keeping one-to-one relation with our customers is very important, even though we can serve to millions of customers. And with the help of machine learning and deep learning algorithms, we can use different aspects of AI to help us to digitize our customer interactions, and helps us to keep up interacting with them for their benefits. So if we can use AI in a rapid and good way to approach our customers and keep them happy within this new journey, it will be beneficial for our brand and our company. And I think this is very important for most of the brands, personalization. And there's a new term for that, hyper personalization. The segments are getting smaller and smaller, but while getting into this hyper personalization era, I think we should also keep in mind about the trust and the safety between the brand and the customers. And also we should try to create an empathy for the customer experience that we drive throughout this journey. And I think with data and with smart analytics and with smart AI-based insights, I think it will make our lives easier to create empathy for our brand perspective, because we can also change the conversation between for our brand to our customers. And it helps us to create different experiences for different segments for our brand, and it helps us to create a new way of interacting with people, even in their own language. For example, we have developed our assistant, which can use speech technology in 12 different languages, and we can differentiate each dialogue according to the mood of people, according to the segment of people, customers that we are facing with. I think omni-channel is becoming the normal for the brands, and if we can keep up with reaching customers via different channels with the omni-channel approach, then the customers enjoy their journey and keep up working with us And if we can also use the advantages of analytics and AI, it will help us to keep up a consistent experience in different channels throughout their journey. These changes are also reflecting made a huge change in our lives and also in our customers' lives, because most of the marketing organizations and also the executive levels are working on understanding their customer journeys and trying to keep up with them. And I think each company, each brand, and each geographic region has a different way of doing things. So we need flexible and we need consistent systems to leverage on these changes and make our brands more engaged with the customer base that we are facing right now. And there should be a question about how do we handle it with no-code how can we use no-code for customer experience? All these changes requires a 360 view of the customers. And if our platforms helps us to understand customer behaviors in a very easy way and keep up with every interaction with the customer within this approach, then it will be easy for us to create micro segments that helps to create hyper segmentation for our customer journeys. And if also we can use the process management capabilities of a no-code platform, then we can create these journeys for these hyper segments in an easy way without requiring a code. And if these systems helps us to create campaigns for using different channels, it can also helps us to create an omni-channel experience for our customers. Also, we need dashboards for understanding the behaviors of customers and trying to get the analytics from them. So our no-code platform should be also helping us to create easy to understand and flexible platforms for creating dashboards for different parts of our organization to understand the customer journey. I think if all the customer interactions can be kept inside the platform, especially the behavior analytics is a very important aspect here. If we can also get this behavior analytics data inside our platform, then it will be easy for us to create machine learning algorithms that will help us to classify our customers for smart segmentation, and also for our customers to understand their needs and to create some predictive recommendations for their next action. And this can also be used in a no-code platform if all the data and the machine learning algorithm that can work within with our brand's data and also that can learn from our brand's data, it will create smart applications and algorithms for our next sessions, I believe. Eric, this is very important for the marketing teams because I think marketing is getting more experimental in this new era, especially understanding the customer behavior and segmented customer behavior and creating the next actions for the customer is not easy. That's why we should be depending on data and especially the behavior data in our platforms, coming from our platforms. But also, we should be careful about analyzing this data because there shouldn't be a lag between analyzing and getting into action. So it could be a smooth process and it should be a near real-time operation to create good customer experiences in this new way of living, I believe. Eric, if you want, we can ask our visitors, our audience to ask any questions they are interested in.
Ah, perfect. Okay. Guys, if there are any questions for Tolga, please submit those for us in the chat section now. Tolga, great presentation. I couldn't agree with you more. When we start to look at we look at the way that we have to personalize and target our messaging. It is all about leveraging that data. And in my experience, most companies don't lack the data. It's there. It's how do we take that data and then make it actionable. So perfect. So we do got a couple of questions here, Tolga. So the first question we have, it says, hello, what technology do I need to make workflow automation successful?
We are using Creatio for campaign management purposes for all the things that we are doing inside Lucky Eye right now. And we can create the studio functionality to design the experiences for each segment that we are focusing on. And there are some tools in the marketplace that we can easily integrate with the system to create omni-channel experiences. For example, we can integrate WhatsApp and we can enable WhatsApp as a channel for our experience. We can integrate the SMS or the push messaging, web push inside Creatio and integrate it with this studio platform that the Creatio is offering right now. And finally, we also integrated Leva, our AI-based assistant with Creatio, so that we can create personalized conversations with our customers for our prospects to enable them go one step further in our sales funnel. And also, we can use the same approach for customer services, where we have zero UI or voice-enabled UI for customer services purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. Managing that entire customer journey. Absolutely. So I think we've got time for one more question, Tolga. And the question is this type of automation only for enterprise level organizations?
Yeah, it was like that 5 years ago. Fortunately, right now we have lots of tools, but this time it's important to select the right tool for our organization and the flexible platform for our organization. Right now, I can easily say that what we are doing with Creatio, we can scale it up from small teams to enterprise level customers according to their requirements, because the marketing functionality is easy to use, and even the small teams can start working with. And I think for the budget, when we look at the budget for using Creatio in only marketing purposes only, for example, is also very entry level costs, so that we have ability to use this data and create live actionable steps further for our customer journey with this approach, even for small organizations, startups, or SMEs that we are working with.
Yeah, I agree, Tolga, and I think that we have to have this personalized approach no matter what size organization you are nowadays. Everybody has competition regardless of your size, and it's how are you going to stay ahead of that? And having a personalized way to reach out and connect with customers is going to be important. And to your point, we also leverage no code here at Creatio, so you don't necessarily need to have a large IT staff or anybody to deploy this. It can be managed at the business level within the marketing team. So I think it is a good fit for not only enterprise but even organizations that may be smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Well, Tolga, I believe that brings us to the end of our time together. Thank you again. I've seen you on many sessions now, so we appreciate your dedication to the Accelerate event, and always insightful chats with you, Tolga.
It's very important for me to be with you, and I really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks again.
Bye.
All right. So another great session from Tolga. Again, we've seen his face many times here during our Accelerate event. So this brings us to our next session, and this is, a great success story that we've had with BNI Business Network International. We're joined today by Meena Srinivasan, who is their Chief Digital Officer, and she'll be having a conversation with Eric Ogilvy, who is one of our senior account executives here at Creatio. So Eric, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here at our Creatio Accelerate event, part of the no-code revolution we have going on. My name is Eric Ogilvy. I'm a senior account manager here with Creatio, and I partner with many of our enterprise customers, one of which is BNI International, and I'm very fortunate to be joined by Meena Srinivasan, who is the Chief Digital Officer with BNI. Meena, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Eric. It's great to be here.
Awesome. And I'll give a little bit of background on Meena, some very impressive information. As I mentioned, she's the Chief Digital Officer who drives her organization's digital transformation. She is one of the most sought after specialists in the field of digital marketing. She's been the recipient of many prestigious awards, including Top 50 Social Media Professionals, which was awarded by India and the CMO Asia Council. She's received the Women's Super Achiever Award by HRD World Congress for pioneering work in building virtual teams, which are comprised of professional talent and young mothers who are coming back to the workforce. So I think that's great. As well as in 2019, the Insight Success magazine named her top 10 most creative shepreneurs. That's very fun and exciting to say. I like that. So again, we're very fortunate to have you, and I appreciate you joining today. If you would, can you share a few words about BNI and a little bit about the organization, that we can jump in with some Q&A for the audience?
Yeah, that's perfect, Eric. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And, I'm really glad to be here representing BNI today. I lead the digital initiatives in the organization, but just to give you a bit of a background, BNI actually stands for Business Network International. It's one of the largest referral networking organizations of its kind in the world. It was originally started and founded by Dr. Ivan Meissner in Southern California about 36 years ago. And Dr. Meissner is actually been called father of modern networking, if you will. And currently the company is headquartered in North Carolina. We've been led by our dynamic CEO, Graham Weimiller. And it's been a great journey, 36 years, year-on-year growth, which you can see here in the graph behind me. So just a little bit about the numbers. We are in 70 plus countries. We work with over 284,000 business entrepreneurs who are, actually organized in what we call as chapters. So there are about 10,000 plus chapters across the world. And just to give you a bit of a background on what happens in these chapters is members exchange business referrals for each other. And in the last 12 months, the volume of referrals that was exchanged was about, 12 million. So you're talking about 1 million a month of referrals exchange. And that leads to revenue for these members who are mostly small business owners. And the revenue figure that we were able to achieve was about 18 billion in the last 12 months. So that's quite a significant volume. We are talking about SME businesses. But the heart of BNI is really comes down to our core philosophy, which is givers gain. And its networking is more about farming rather than hunting. It's about building relationships. Of course, we back it up with a very structured agenda and the strong cultures and values that drive the organization. So that's a bit about BNI for you.
Excellent. No, I appreciate that. And I guess we can jump into some specifics around there as well. I know we mentioned BNI is the world's largest business referral organization, and you have that extensive member network, which is worldwide. I guess if you could speak a little bit more to the specifics for the audience on how BNI helps its members grow their businesses themselves.
Yes. So, BNI, what we honor in our values, one of our core values is traditions plus innovations. And, while we honor our traditions, it's very important because we're fueled by innovation, especially as you know, in the last 18 to 24 months, every business has had to bring in rapid innovation to stay in touch with, all the changes that's happening. So for us, the way we stepped forward to serve our members and our franchisees was to adopt new technology, build new business norms, because originally BNI was a face-to-face networking organization where members met at chapters and exchanged business referrals in a face-to-face situation. And we completely pivoted the model into an online model for a couple of months. And now we're going more hybrid in tune with the rest of the world. But, things like marketing automation, CRM has led to our evolution, and members actually have benefited because they have had the opportunity to network not only locally, but also globally during this phase and actually expand the reach of their business. And like I said, we value and honor our traditions, but we've kept in step with innovation. And, it has kept us on our toes, literally, but it's been a very rewarding and fulfilling journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a tremendous and it's an interesting value, the tradition plus innovation. So I'm curious as well, some of the tools or maybe secrets you might have on how to balance those two things in today's world. As rapidly as things are changing, to have tradition and innovation. I know technology is part of that. But yeah, any other thoughts you can share on how you make sure those things are balanced and providing value?
Yes. So when the BNI journey started, pretty much every chapter was face to face. So word of mouth was really our way of conducting business. So business owners met at chapters, they exchanged information about their business, and whereas other business owners were able to bring in members, were able to bring them referrals. These were not cold leads. They were, referrals that the member could have a warm handshake and take forward. So when we look at, the newer technologies which we adopted, we had to make sure that this meaningful human touch continued in the online world. And that's kind of how we pivoted and made things happen.
Excellent. And from the technology standpoint of that, what were some of the motivating factors, or what kind of prompted you to make the switch from your previous solution to one unified platform for your workflow automation and CRM? And are there specific goals you have in mind that you hope to achieve with that transition to one platform?
Absolutely, Eric. We kind of reached a tipping point where we were looking for a complete solution. And some of our top goals were, effective lead management. We were receiving over 1 million visitors to our, registering to visit our chapters. We needed to obviously have that meaningful human touch. We also needed to integrate with our core IT and marketing automation systems that were already in place within the organization. And as you know, we are in 70 plus countries. We needed to make this global platform that we chose needed to be available in multiple languages, currencies, etc. And we also were looking for an implementation opportunity where we didn't need to liaise much with external third-party vendors. It was more of something that we could build on our own. And that's why we embarked on this journey to bring in a complete CRM solution. And we actually put a lot of time into our research. We, from reputed sources like the Gartner Group, we had some elaborate discussions with BNI's own internal innovation task force, as we call it, to understand what exactly the consumers, our audience needed. there are so many exciting options out there. But when we explored all of the solutions, big and small, and even looked at some in-house technology, and we actually started going a little deep dive, Creatio actually bubbled up to the top due to, some of your very unique features like your no-code, low-code technology and the very powerful business process engine that you offered. And those became very attractive for us and, much better than even some of the other names. That's how we started looking at the partnership, and we proceeded, and we're very happy for that choice.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. So that's wonderful. I appreciate that, and glad you guys are getting the value. And kind of building on that as well, specific to the no-code aspect of these types of platforms, are there certain values that you see no-code creating for your organization as far as that specific technology?
Oh, absolutely. As you know, what I've understood is that the business process engine is the heart of your system, and the no-code technology that Creatio has offered us, tools and apps and integrations that are almost ready to use. And, obviously, we've also explored the low-code options where we could customize our workflow for specific business needs, because our organization operates in a very unique way, just like every other organization. So this no-code, low-code, and the business process together has given us a nimble way, actually, to implement. And that has been a major advantage for us and a great time saver as well, So, for example, like I just mentioned, we receive over 1 million visitors who come into our system every year. And this automated workflow that we've used, actually helps us assign the right prospect to the right resource to get them served at the right time. And we've also extended the workflow to other areas. For example, in a 24-hour time frame, literally, we were able to implement what's the global support ticket. We were able to provide our service center a supporting ticketing system where they could address the needs of the support tickets that came in. And I think that is the power of no code, where you're able to plug and play and really make, an impact to the user.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one thing I loved that I heard you say is the fact that no code really empowers your organization to, not be dependent on a third party. Or, when change needs to be made, it's nimble. You guys can do it with, people in-house, some of which I work with there at BNI. So yeah, that's great to hear as well. And we also touched briefly on data integration. Obviously, that's essential for business success. So as far as no-code integrations go, can you expand a bit more on other ways you're looking to orchestrate customer data, how you might optimize lead management efforts utilizing no-code?
Absolutely. So, for us, the heartbeat of our member management was actually in a system called BNI Connect. It's the place where, it's the core IT system for us to manage our members and also celebrate our members along the way. Because along with, we also do have an, enterprise communication system called BNI Engage as well. So integrating data from these two systems in order to create a very progressive profile to enable seamless member journey or the visitor journey was very important for us. So we definitely wanted to have our systems linked up and not be in silos. And so this was important for us. And so the business process engine and the flexibility that Creatio gave us in terms of integration was really useful for us. And it also helped us, pull meaningful engagements from various lead sources. So we were having lead sources via our website, from our online apps for people registering to visit a chapter. We were having campaigns online. We were having social media advertisements. And, obviously those were also bringing in a good amount of leads. There were, specific initiatives, maybe some landing pages, event registrations. So you name it, data comes from all over, leads come from all over. And we were able to bring them into the Creatio funnel through the different data integrations and, provide status updates to other systems as the lead progressed along the member journey, as we call it. And also having these real-time dashboards and reporting tools really have made a difference because they help us operate more effectively and help us get, optimize our campaigns, because we are really about providing a seamless user experience. And, you were asking about some of the other areas where we are able to orchestrate the system and utilize it. So just beyond driving our member subscription and growth, we are able to extend the use of Creatio into our new franchising area, for example, where new franchisees approach us for expanding BNI in their country or region. And also with our strategic alliances and partnership teams, we do have an opportunity to use Creatio there as we work with corporate accounts and, build those up. So all around, there's application for it. We see that the platform is actually very pliable, very extensible in its utilization. So we are able to employ it in several areas of our business. And it's really starting to make a huge impact. And as you know, Eric, we're just getting started. So I'm looking forward to a more long-term journey as we expand the scope of Creatio within our organization.
Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. It's been a thrilling ride so far, and I know things are going well, and I can't wait to see what the future holds, and we continue to move forward. So of low code, no code, I guess if you could speak a little bit more about how that nimbleness, the flexibility impacts the lead management process you guys have, what impact that you've seen from that with Creatio so far, and just kind of speak a little bit more to specifics of how you've seen that occur in your business.
Yeah, so when you look at our lead management funnel or our workflow, we do have different touch points, and we, like I said, want to offer a meaningful human touch, but obviously digital has dominating the way we are interacting with our leads at the moment. With the workflow, we're able to develop specific scenarios for specific types of leads, what might be the next step in the process for them. We're able to integrate email exchanges at that point of time. We're able to help our member success center. We have a member success center which does more of the phone calling and touch base with the prospects, so they're able to use it effectively to see the journey on to the next level. They're able to provide us also very significant information about how campaigns are working for us and how we could fine tune that process. So we've seen a lot of sophistication in the way we are handling our leads and helping them effectively through the process. For example, in our business, when a visitor comes onto our website or our platform, many of them need to find a chapter that's right for them. Maybe that's something in their neighborhood, or if they're planning to attend online as well, giving them the right ways to reach probably the Zoom meeting. And there is several touch points there, as well as, if you look at specific business processes, our chapters have one expert per category. So, sometimes visitors do not get placed in the first chapter that they visit. So they may need to be guided and, given a more concierge approach to where else they can explore an opening that's for them. So it's been an interesting journey because we could customize for our specific business processes and help the lead all the way from when they show interest in BNI to the complete journey of onboarding them as a member. And like I said, in future, we might be using them for member nurturing and also for recognition and for so many different areas that we can foresee.
Excellent. I love this story because it's not just about unifying a business onto one platform, but it's unifying businesses all over the world, onto that one platform and being able to leverage low code to do that and be successful with it. So that's great information. I really appreciate you joining today and being part of our event. I think everybody has found it very insightful and enjoyed the conversation. So once again, thank you so much for joining here with us today. And of course, thank you to our audience, the folks attending Accelerate. Hopefully you've had a good time so far. We have a long way to go with our event. So we hope everybody sticks with us and even more great things to come. So Meena, thank you once again.
Thanks, Eric. Great to be here and best wishes ahead.
Right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Eric. Thank you for that great interview with BNI. Which brings us to our next session, guys. Today we're joined by Jenny Beer, our Senior Solution Engineer here at Creatio. And Jenny will be walking us through how we can leverage no-code tools to build robust marketing campaigns. Jenny, I'll turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for this session on how no-code tools can raise your marketing campaigns to new heights. Hope you have been enjoying Marketing Day so far as part of the Accelerate Global event. And in this session, we will dive in and talk about how you can build campaigns without code in Creatio and how you can use next best offer information to help drive the audiences for that campaign. With that, I'm going to go ahead and take us into Creatio so that we can look at how this can be done. I'm in the marketing workplace of Creatio, and you'll see different sections down the side. We have the home page here where you can get some high-level metrics on the performance of your different marketing efforts. And then you can, of course, have some more detailed dashboards, and then we have campaigns. Campaigns we will use to create, using drag and drop, build a journey for our customers through our different marketing assets. And then those assets you can also build in Creatio. So we will take a look at how you can build emails in Creatio with drag and drop. You can also link to landing pages in order to track leads from those marketing campaigns, as the landing page is often the endpoint of a campaign. You can also track audiences and generate audiences for in-person events. And of course, contacts and accounts and what we know about them is how we drive the segmentation for who the audiences will be of those campaigns. And also how we can, what we know about them can then drive what we are offering in terms of next best offer. And of course, everything to do with campaigns and events is to generate leads, which you can then, of course, show in Creatio and pass on to the sales team. So these elements are the ones that we are going to mostly focus on: campaigns, emails, and contacts. Let's take a look at campaigns first. In Creatio, you can have an unlimited number of campaigns, and these can be straightforward, like drip campaigns, maybe sending a welcome email to all new customers, or following up after 30 days of becoming a customer to see how satisfied they are with the onboarding process. But you can also have very targeted campaigns, maybe for special promotions. We'll take a look at this new products campaign. So this is a campaign that is promoting some new products. And you can see we have a summary here of the campaign. We can see all of the campaign as it's designed in the campaign editor, which we will open and take a look at. We can also see some statistics about where the campaign participants are in our campaign. So we can see that there are a number of them here still in the beginning. And then we can see, where they are in terms of which steps later on down the campaign as well. Of course, you have some general information: how many participants, how many reached the goal, since this is a campaign that was already run. And then you can also have some other analytics in terms of the number of maybe people met, or the number of people who have gone through the campaign, the number of marketing qualified leads that were generated, maybe the spend budget if this included some advertising. So you can, of course, customize what you are reporting on for your campaigns. We can also see how many unique visitors to from our accounts, and the engaged visitors and total page views related to our campaign. Within a campaign, you also can see who the audience is based on the folders that you use when you are initiating that campaign. And then all the linked entities, these are the things that we use to build it, which we will take a look at in the designer as well. So let's go ahead and open up the campaign editor so that you can see how this designer works. This really gets into the heart of Creatio's no-code drag and drop capabilities. So we are able to use different elements to build out campaigns and automate the customer journey through that marketing campaign. Here you can see that we have that campaign that we were looking at the summary on that first page. And now we are able to interact with this campaign and maybe make changes if we need to. Campaigns, of course, start with audiences. And here we have been able to use information we know about our customers to define very targeted audiences for our campaign. In this example, we have female customers with a particular product as their next best offer. So when you are looking at your contacts, you are able to use information about your contacts to create targeted audiences or very specific segments across all the information you know about your customers. If you needed to have a new audience that you wanted to pull into this campaign, you can just drag the audience icon onto the canvas. You can then specify what this audience will be. And then you can say, if you maybe already have that folder defined in terms of who should be participating or the customer segment, or you can also actually just build out the filters yourself right here. So maybe you want this to be particular, your participants should be a type that is customer. And you could then further select details based on what you know about those customers, maybe specific products that have been recommended, products that have been purchased, or maybe a combination of products that have been purchased compared with other products that were not purchased if you're doing a gap analysis. So it's easy to quickly select folders or build out new filters. Then, of course, in our new audience here, we would want to add what's the first thing that should happen for this campaign. And I would just be able to drag and drop, connect it to another element. And then you can have some filters and some more complex elements as well to really customize this journey. For example, here with female customers with a certain product recommended, we then have a next step in this that is going to look at when do those customers prefer communication. So we actually have some filters that are saying that they maybe prefer communications on Sundays from 5 to 8 p.m. And we know that about our customers because it's in the contact record. So for those people, we want to route them to the timer for Sundays at 4 p.m. And maybe they prefer email communications at a certain time during a working day. And so then we have that filter set up so that we route them to the appropriate timer. And maybe they prefer communication only on Mondays. Again, we could set up those filters. So we are using the information we know about the contacts within these selected audience folders in order to then present the email, or in this case, also direct mail or Telegram or Facebook Messenger marketing message at the right time. And then we are using that information to know not only when to present it, but which channel we should use based on their communication preferences. We then have element here to eliminate duplicates. And then we are going to initiate a random split so that we can do some A/B testing of the emails. And then these emails are actually emails designed right in Creatio, and they can have even further customized messages using dynamic content. Of course, all of this is driving our participants to a landing page where they can enter some information, which will then generate a lead, which can be assigned to the appropriate sales rep for follow-up based on location or product expertise, because it is all linked to that contact record in Creatio, so we know who the assigned account manager is. And then we are going to ultimately put this participants into folders so that we note on the contact record who participated and what the status was. And then maybe, we can do follow-ups to warm leads, or certainly notice those or mark those that have unsubscribed. So a lot of different things happening in this campaign. The point is that it is all linked to what we know about our contacts, and all of this logic for building out this customer experience is done without having to code any information. So we talked a lot about the campaign itself and some of the linked entities that we used in order to drive these campaigns. I do want to talk about the linked entities and the emails in particular. So let's take a look at the email that was used in this campaign. This is a good example of dynamic content. So we have this new product that we want to promote to our customers, and we want to have this one promotion campaign and one promotional email. But we know we have customers who may be interested in different products. And in this case, maybe female customers interested in a certain product and male customers interested in a different product. And we are able to design these emails and make them, using dynamic content, make them present the right messaging and the right imagery to the right customer based solely on the contact record. And then, of course, you can have a default if for some reason you don't know that information about the customer. You can present an option that would address both of them. So in the easy drag and drop email editor, you're able to design these emails with the right custom messaging for the customer. And then you're also able to get a lot of statistics about the email performance itself. So beyond just how the campaign performed, you can see which audience got this particular email message, which is important if you're doing that A/B testing. You can also get information about the sending progress and where this is in the process. You can also get detailed information about the performance of specific links or images in your email. So you can have a heat map showing you which customers clicked where and maybe what imagery performed best. And then you can also see link performance and then have some number of clicks for each of those specific links as well. Of course, you can have some summary information in terms of totals, how many were delivered, how many clicks, how many opens, how many unsubscribes, and exactly when did people click or open the email on a time-based chart. And of course, some reporting on errors as well. So a lot of detailed information all right here in Creatio in terms of the campaign performance and then individual email performance as well. We talked a lot about the different tools that you can use for emails and campaign design, but we really want to also highlight what we know about our contacts and how that is driving those customer segments. So on a contact record, you are able to view detailed information about your customers and then use those to create folders for very targeted segments. In this example, we're seeing the folders that we saw actually in the campaign itself. In this case, it's participants of that promotional campaign. And if I just show you the filter, we will see participants of the campaign with website events, meaning that they visited the website for this particular product, and then also they participated in the campaign. So these would be contacts that we would definitely want to follow up with because we know that they're very interested, and we know they received a promotional offer, and we know they went and looked at that product. And we are able to generate this for follow-up using these filters for detailed information on the contact record itself. So we are able to look at the website event tracking to see exactly what they looked at on the website, and then use that for filtering to create this targeted folder. We're also able to use next best offer information to be able to use these folders and create targeted segments. So if I look at this filter here, you'll be able to see that we are looking at those customers who have looked at certain products in their website. And so we've seen that they have been to our website. And then we're also seeing that these customers have a particular product as the recommended next best product, or next best offer, and then also that they are existing customers and female. So you can get really down into the details, not only about maybe what you know in terms of their customer profile, but also what you know about products that they already have, using machine learning to identify products that are recommended for them based on what we know about the customer and products they already have. You can also use these folders to create segments based on the website events and the tracking that you're doing to see what products they may have looked at. And then you can even pull in information across the customer journey. So we talked about knowing what products they have already ordered, but you could also pull in information, maybe customers who have had a customer service request lately and maybe gave either poor or negative feedback, and you want to respond appropriately in order to help boost their feelings about your brand. So you can pull in information across that customer journey to utilize in identifying segments for your marketing efforts. And of course, all of that is found in the contact record. So any detail that you have about your customers that is on this contact record, you can pull into those folders for marketing campaigns. And of course, if there's some new field that you need to start tracking, some new data point about your customers that you want to include that maybe you realize would be useful in marketing going forward, you can easily add that field to your contact records using drag and drop, and then start tracking that field, adding data to it so that you can start using that in your marketing campaign. The contact profile, as well as the campaigns, all of the no-code tools make it easy to adapt and adjust as you learn more about your customers and as you get more targeted in your marketing. And with that, I do want to make sure that we get a chance to answer some questions as well. So let me go ahead and take a look at questions that have been submitted. There was a question about what criteria we can use for segmenting our audience. And we did, of course, talk about that it can be really all across the customer journey. We're looking at the next best offer in particular right here on this particular contacts record. This is using machine learning to generate a recommendation and a recommendation score. So we know those that we are most confident that this particular customer will like. And then, of course, we talked about also being able to use some of the website events in terms of maybe what they've been looking at, as well as orders, product information, and of course, just general profile information like location and more standard segmentation. Another question was how we might be able to integrate Creatio with software and tools that you are already using. That's a great question because for, I think almost none of our customers use Creatio as a standalone, single platform. We definitely expect Creatio to work with other tools that you are using, whether that be an ERP system or, maybe some other online advertising systems. So Creatio has an open API, and you are able to use the tools right here in Creatio to design web services using REST or SOAP API in order to connect to other systems. And then you can set up processes that will determine when you want to call those integrations. So we make it very simple to pull information into Creatio as well as push information back out. There's also a question about a trial. What kind of trial do we offer? Creatio does have a free 14-day trial that you can sign up for on our website of both the marketing product as well as, of course, the full CRM. So you're welcome to download something. It has a guided tour that can walk you through the product and help you understand its different capabilities. And of course, as part of the pre-sales team, we're definitely happy to give you a demo and talk through your specific use cases to see how Creatio can best help. So with that, I really appreciate your time today. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Accelerate event, and thank you very much for watching.
Right. Thank you very much, Jenny, and great shirt, by the way. So that brings us to our final session, our panel discussion, and today I'll be joined by some of our key partners and sponsors for our event, where we'll be discussing how no-code helps make complicated CRM easy. So I see my panel joining. So today I'm joined by Gabriela Gonzalez. Gabriela is joining us from Go Virtual. Hello, Gabriela.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining. We also have Julius Holmberg.
Hello.
How are you, Julius?
I'm great. Coming from Stockholm, Sweden here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome. Yeah, so you're joining us from Chess IT. And we also have Georgie Guri. Georgie, how are you today? All right. Yeah, Georgie is the CEO of Facilization. Again, wonderful panel. I'm pleased to be joined by such an esteemed group of colleagues here. So I'm just going to stop sharing so we can all fit on the screen. There we go. Excellent. So today's discussion, guys, a very interesting approach, and also very interesting to see how we're going to kind of work through those suggestions. So if we're looking at how we go about making CRM simple, I'm just going to throw out some questions, and we'll just have an open discussion. So
sure.
Maybe a good way to get started is, what challenges are you seeing? What are the biggest hurdles that are out there in terms of CRM today, and what values should we be focused on?
Yeah, I think it's a tough environment out there. There's a lot of competitors who are offering some great solutions, but I think with the package that we are selling with the Creatio package, I think we have some super strong points that are just knockout victories right now. We're selling hard here up in Scandinavia.
Excellent. We'd love to hear that. I would complement that by saying customers and even the workforce really are asking for simple tools that allows them to focus on what matters in their day-to-day, right? Not transactional work or work that doesn't add any value. And CRM, I think it plays a huge role in this customer journey, but also the employee journey.
Absolutely. I think that's something that we forget about, right? We always look at CRM as being that customer facing, application, but I think a lot of times that gets overlooked, right? The employee experience, we're all in sales, right? We we know what it's like to have to input data into a CRM. Sometimes, in the past that has been considered just a, kind of a manual process, a necessary evil. But I think the way that we're able to design and configure CRM today is a lot different, right? We're inputting that data as a way to understand and work with our clients. And if we make that process, easy on the employee, so that way they're getting, something for every bit of information they're putting out, they're getting 3 bits of information out of it, really empowers employees to have a better experience.
Absolutely.
I agree. We still see like people using Excel sheets for keeping their information in Teams, and we still get those opportunities today, even though CRMs have been around for a long while, and even though there are CRMs that are for free. Still people are in those Excel sheets, and yeah, it's amazing, but there's an opportunity, and yeah, we're grabbing it very
so
well.
another, that's also, if I may, that's also another area of kind of being able to offer to a salesperson, a sales rep, the kind of concept of citizen developer. So I'm jumping a little bit on low code here, but the whole idea is, if I'm accustomed to my notes and I trust the way I keep records, the data that I want to capture, I need to have some kind of flexibility. So one size fits all might be good for some people, but might not be as good for some others. So, I mean, a kind of level of adaptability, I think, helps a lot.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that we have to be able to adjust our sails, right? Like so when the winds of change come, we need to be able to adjust our sails with that. And that leads into another interesting question. When we look at CRM, we look at it as an investment that we've made. So whether that's a legacy system that we've had on within our organization for a number of years, or Julius, to your point, maybe we're leveraging a free system, but we're still living in Excel spreadsheets. What do you guys think are the the major signs that a CRM might be too complicated for the users, or where we might see a CRM project fail? What do you think of those key signs that businesses can look for and maybe determine that it might be time for a new solution?
I think for me, I think it's seeing that the sales people are actually at some point, for example, to stop using it, or refrain from using it, and that's for me a clear sign that they have a difficulty using their CRM, or something is wrong in usability somewhere.
Yeah. Whenever you have like a plan to use several systems during for a salesperson, that's always a threat, because then the sales guy will be in another system that sort of conflicts with Cratio. If you succeed at like building an integration from Cratio side instead of using two systems, so you keep all that you need, everything that you need within Cratio. That's a super powerful recipe for locking them in, so to speak. So that it's super good for keeping customers, but it's super good to for user experience, of course. That's the most important part.
I totally agree. User experience is key. Even duplicating work, that is something that some of the tools produce, right? Or have as a result of a tricky implementation, or perhaps not having developed or designed their processes initially beforehand the implementation. I think this is a clear risk, but also I would focus on the usage of or how we leverage the data that is gathered from the system. If you're not using that data for any purposes, then your CRM or your system or whatever tool you're using, and not just specific to CRM, is not really getting you into the path of implementation, innovation, or leveraging from technology. We have some key players, Spotify, Netflix, and all the service or subscription business that are using this information for making the next steps into their business, right? So this is the way we all should be thinking, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
And I might only add that at the very end, the capability to get the right data and metrics about how the sales are performing, and being able to drill down and being able to see a clear picture as to how the whole sales organization is performing, and being able to have some actual reports and data in a real time also comes with all the kind of necessary integrations that CRM should have. So if or any platform that exists is failing to provide sufficient insight to the customer, and what we see these days especially also give some value by recommending what you should do and what you should look into, then these are kind of some symptoms where some changes are needed, and there are also some pain points that can be rectified by utilizing a CRM, a more advanced modern one.
Yeah, I would agree. That is, that's key. Otherwise your CRM just becomes a repository, right? It's a way to store information. It's a way to report on information, but you could do that in any number of systems, right? You could have that in financial systems. You could have those records, but it's how do we leverage all of that data and come up with insights that will help us better engage with our customers? So I think that is absolutely key.
No, one, if I may add, so from because I typically deal with we typically work with financial service customers. So when we're talking about financial services CRM systems, I mean, what's necessary is to combine the digital, mobile, and social data alongside traditional touch points, really for rapidly outstriping those who doesn't do. So if the CRM doesn't do it, okay, it's a bit awkward. So the priority, especially on the financial services organization, is for kind of having especially also all the key other marketing activities being integrated across all channels. So they can, this really creates a channel, I think, conflict sometimes when there are different systems, different applications, that this kind of channel conflicts really creates and hinders firms for really taking advantage of having a holistic view of customers and really making use of all the potential channels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great point, Georgi. Let's take a poll of the audience, guys, shall we? Audience, within the chat section of the platform here, let's take a quick poll. So what features of your current CRM would you like to further simplify? We have lead management, case management, document management, pipeline management, or workflow automation. I think there should be an all of the above option there, guys, if it was me writing the poll. But go ahead and put your responses in the chat section, and we'll reveal the results very shortly. So, Georgi, you went down this path a little bit, talking about no code and how to leverage that to simplify your CRM applications. How do we feel that no code can help remove barriers that traditional CRM users are experiencing today? Those users that may not have coding skills or development skills. How do we feel no code can help simplify that process for them?
Well, I think no code is important for the individual efficiency and also the team efficiency. So when you think of, especially of the dynamics we're having, and especially in the financial services industry, where there is a mixture of competition with fintechs, okay, which traditionally or naturally come with more skills and capabilities to navigate through data and to utilize data better, and kind of traditional banks that have a huge repository of data, but they are not built, they were not being set up as a data-driven organization, okay? In there, I think what we have seen without the need to adapt very frequently and to kind of be agile in the market offering, both from the marketing, but also trying to sell, cross-sell, upsell to existing customer, you need to adapt, you need to change. And the cycle time of this change has shrinked a lot recently. So in case I'm talking for a large organization, they have to procure for a process, they have to kind of write requirements, then they have a development cycles that takes many months and sometimes years, then your outputs are going to be already old and outdated when they're live. So the reduction of the cycle time and being able to engage more people in a more agile way, I think that's only achievable by a low code. So it's all about low code. So to be efficient, a person is like a citizen developer with no kind of programming skills. I mean, he needs to have a dashboard that really helps him see what he needs. Also, make decisions based on relevant information that might be of use, not only of his data, but data about customers, data about various communications, previous offers, and many other things. So the data needs to be relevant. So, I mean, that's about low code. The other aspect here, surely, it's more about CRM in general, also machine learning capabilities, because you need to get some intelligence out of the data and the systems. You cannot keep on browsing and browsing and browsing report. But for me, between the two surely are important. Low code is key, because otherwise the solution is going to be too monolithic.
Yeah. When we're talking barriers, I really think of different solutions that should be integrated. And with Creatio no code / low code solution, we can build those connectors to other systems so much faster. That totally removes barriers. And that's usually the way I work as a developer, that we see a customer which has some sort of pain and they use several systems. They're interested in payment solutions, account enrichments, company lookups, and whatnot. So what we can offer with Creatio is connectors built in days or weeks, instead of those 100 plus hours sort of expensive solutions. So it's super powerful.
Yeah, I think, and this is an interesting question, because in the past, many employees everyone in the companies make or build tools, like even using Excel or macros for their own purposes, right? And they, with the time, these tools become important and relevant for their functions, right? So if you provide a tool that is not able to adapt to that environment, I think that employees and the people interacting with the system will very easily become frustrated, right, with whatever tool. So I think this is a relevant component and very important for change management and for the people to adapt a tool that really responds to their needs. Still, I think that this is a concept that needs to be covered, especially thinking of an enterprise-wide implementation. It needs to have some governance and some layers that allows you to make a standard tool across the enterprise with some some room for innovation or changes into their processes, but with a governance on top.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to respond to that from Gabriela when she said about responding to needs. I think there were Creatio with business process. We can pretty quickly respond to needs, and they're quite, I see with when we talk to people, they're quite surprised on what low code can offer them. Moving fields around, quickly creating new fields, making them interact with each other, interact within different departments also. I think that's a big thing, a big wow factor that people are looking for, and in a way that it actually can follow them through time and evolve with them, and as the company evolves.
Yeah, and thank you, Damien. And I just wanted to let everybody know Damien had joined the call. We had a little technical difficulty getting him in here. So Damien, thank you for joining us from
Hi, everyone.
So thank you for jumping right in. But yeah, it's when I look at CRM strategy, you got to look at it from a couple of different perspectives, right? Like, one, you have your goals of CRM, but you also have to, focus your strategy on, two key areas: user adoption as well as change management, right? Because we know that what we put in place, today, may change in the next 6 months, 12 months, 14 months down the road. So this has to be a big consideration when you're putting together your CRM strategy. And I feel that, no code really, enables you to quickly pivot and adjust to those changes as they're coming within your CRM. And also, if user adoption is not where it needs to be, we can change, right? We can configure, and we can make that that process engaging, for the end user. We can bring them into the process and put the technology in their hand as well. So couldn't agree more with you guys. So we have the results of our first poll, and just to remind everybody, what the question was. What features of your current CRM system would you like to further simplify? So We came in with pipeline management at 50%. So 50% of the audience would like to simplify their pipeline management, followed evenly by lead management and case management at 25%. So very interesting statistics. So pipeline, as we know, guys, especially in sales, very important.
They're almost the same thing, all of them.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Perfect. So that leads us into our next question, guys. So we talk about no code and the ability to adapt quickly, to engage users into the process and really be able to configure and modify to meet specific business requirements. So when we have all of that in place and it's all working well, how does that impact the company's bottom line and business outcomes? What are you seeing with your customers?
Yeah, I've seen examples where sales teams are like 10xing the amount of process that they can work at the same time, and they just become super efficient from the day that they enter the system, basically. And we have an example where we have a customer who's in the traveling industry, and we were sort of scared that they would have a hard time during the pandemic and whatnot, because they sell tourism and travel. But as far as we can tell, their statistics are looking super good, and their adaptation of starting using the Cratio CRM was just right on time for them. I think we can, it says a lot, basically. Mm-hmm. It's like you have in the same month you get a pandemic that's supposed to obliterate your total industry, but at the same month you were lucky enough to get Cratio CRM, so it all evens out.
Yeah, I think, speaking widely, if we provide and we give a better service to our clients, a better response to our potential clients, right, and keep track of every single step or stage in their journey, right, this should definitely conduct into more sales, absolutely, with a better established process and a better visibility of what is going on at each step, and then upsell and cross-sell along the service live with our clients.
So I fully agree. Just to add, what I've seen also is the effectiveness at the team level. Mm-hmm. So, and being able to, the whole team is delivering really more because they're focusing the energy on the right step, or they're optimizing the right aspect that's not working or at their best, whether this might be lead management, nurturing the leads, or whether it's about sort of focusing on the pipeline and opportunities, but it's the whole effectiveness of the team that gets translated in business results.
Yeah, I would say it even helps, standardize how they talk with each other, because we're all different. Mm-hmm. And it can happen in the same team, let's say in the same office, but even also internationally. Suddenly you have kind of a same language to be able to compare what you're doing with each other, rather than each having his own Excel and his own language, own way of working. And that also accelerates sales because management or teams are able to react much faster to what works, what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree, and I think that's key to it, right? It's speed and agility. We have to adjust very quickly. We know COVID-19 disrupted pretty much every industry, but those disruptions aren't going to stop at a global pandemic, right? That's just one. Disruptions are coming from multiple areas. We mentioned earlier in financial services, you've got fintechs, you've got competition coming in from every arena. You have large corporations like Amazon or Apple getting into the financial industry, and they're offering attractive methods of engagement and benefits to their customers. So those disruptions are coming from competition, and how do you stay ahead of that? How do you stay ahead of those disruptions that are going to come. We need to better predict them and understand, right? So leveraging the data that we're collecting, being able to analyze that, and then also be able to shift those business models to get out ahead of it, right? How do we stay ahead of the competition? How do we stay ahead of that next, well, God forbid we don't have that, but that next global pandemic that might, occur? We need to leverage all of that data to kind of stay ahead of those disruptions. And we see it in every industry. It's not just, financial, services, but, any industry, is affected by, many types of disruptions. And I feel that that's really where having agile tools like no code is going to keep you, keep you ahead of it. Perfect. Excellent. So I know we have a second poll. So let's ask the audience, and this is all surrounding no-code tools. So the question is, have you ever tried or used no-code tools? So there's a series of answers there. It's yes or no, but also some opinions on that. So let's let the audience respond, and we'll share those results shortly. As we know that no code is going to help simplify many different workflows, processes, change management, all of the good things we've been discussing. We look at advising the audience on how to simplify. So I'd like to ask each of you, because you live in this world, you're working with customers. What are the tips that you can provide the audience on how to strike a balance between simplicity and functionality when it comes to CRM?
Yeah. So I would start by starting by defining and socializing the objectives that you have upfront an implementation, and what do you want to get out from a CRM or from whatever tool you're aiming to use. Focus on the happy paths at the very beginning. Don't try to make your processes or the implementation or whatever design to meet every single need of the process, right? Start with the happy path, and make sure that those happy paths or that initial design meets or is prioritizing the objective that you have agreed or defined beforehand. And then establish waves of improvement. The first wave shouldn't tackle all of the needs of an implementation. There are waves, and there's going to be plenty of time for you to improve based on what you've previously implemented or designed.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I hope every salesperson out there is listening to that, Gabriela, because that's how we have to approach our customers as well. Georgie, I see you.
I think my first point is very similar to what Gabriela said. So you need to have clarity on kind of the problem you are going to solve with the CRM and try to have a kind of a team agreement across all the stakeholders. I'm talking about the enterprise scale of implementation. What's going to be the output for all and the results from the CRM project? So that's without having clarity and structure of this design, it's going to be difficult down the line. I fully agree with the tip points mentioned before. Just to add two more, I think sometimes it's also useful to be aware of the limitations of the time, skills, and capabilities of the sales team or the end users that will be using the tool and the IT. So a kind of awareness, okay, where does the organization stand at the moment and how much investment, especially in time, can be given to the project. And also, it's good to have the clarity on kind of non-technical related changes that will go hand to hand with the technology implementation, meaning organization changes, structure changes within the sales teams, process changes, because they will have an impact. So, I mean, you are going to use the software, the tool, it's low code, you can play with it around, but it will create an impact on the people. So you need to be aware as well how this is going to
Yeah, I think if you want to find a balance,
and
it's to
like
find
you
like
mentioned,
what's too
it's better
complex
to
for
have something
the.
simpler or structured.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, that's okay. I think there was just a
Yep.
little lag in.
Oh, sorry about that.
But
Yeah,
that's okay.
That's
so
okay. Go on.
yeah. I was just gonna say, sometimes it's difficult to balance, because what can a citizen developer really do? Well, I think often the least amount of work that anybody could do super easily and gives him a lot of strength and benefits, is to at least create dashboards and his own segments with the dynamic folders. I think any Creatio user could do that, and that's super strong. And he can always customize his own lists and on all that. Show the citizen developer what he can do to get more out of the product. And once the citizen, the user or / citizen developer, in some cases, they really feel at home after a while, and they get super efficient as well. And another thing that it could be used to minimize the investment and invested time, and to get you going faster, is to use a lot of marketplace applications and use the work that has been put in there and just install it with one click. You can get a lot of use out of them. In many cases, that's what we try to do. Often at JustIT, we put out some nice connectors and whatnot on the marketplace, and the customers are really interested in using them. Especially, we're using a lot of account and contact enrichment connectors. That's big here up in Sweden.
So your
And
first
last-
point, Julius, was let the users fall in love with the tool first, and that will really make it easy afterwards.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree too. I think for me, like my top 3 tips would be simplify your processes, your sales or marketing process, and start on, let's say, the first core, which corresponds to the happy path in some way, and then they go into the tool, and then at some point they realize what they can actually do with the tool, because sometimes they see the tool, they're like, oh yeah, it looks nice, oh wow, it's beautiful, you can move things around. And then you see them going in the tool, and they're like, oh, wow, I can do all of these things, and then they want more and more and more. And so you kind of see where they focus on first, and then little by little you go in waves and you add the improvements, but not too much at one go, so that you make sure that they are actual improvements. Because sometimes we want to add a lot of functionalities and then realize that they don't use a couple of functionalities, and then we overcrowd the whole system.
Yeah, and that leads right into the topic here, right? Simplifying CRM, and I think that you each touched on some great points. I mean, one, if you have an end goal in mind, right, an overarching business goal, and we tie everything back to that, that's really where we're going to start to see the balance, right? Because then that way, if we have that goal in mind, we can gear everything within the CRM to that particular goal, and it makes a clear path, right? It's really where I find when I talk to customers, there's that disconnect, right? There's that disconnect between that overarching business goal and the features and functionalities of a CRM, right? Well, functions and features are great. There's a plethora of them in any CRM that you want to engage, but it's how do we leverage those to meet that overarching business goals. So I think once you have that aligned, things start to fall into place. And also, I love the fact that we heard about leveraging like marketplace applications and templates, because that takes a lot of the development work and things out of, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you want to launch a new process or a new application. We can leverage what's already there. So let's take advantage of that while it's either in the marketplace or within the tool, and be able to modify it to meet your specific business needs is actually going to help simplify, that process as well. Because so many times, we get engaged in projects and you get that scope creep, right? Like where it's just, you're going to get more and more, usage as you come in and you start to uncover what additional things you can do with it. But we can take some of that out of the way with, pre-built, templates and connectors that are available. So I love that suggestion. I love that topic because I find that just helps you recognize a quicker time, to value with the tool. So all great suggestions. So we do have our second poll results. So let me just pull this up and let me just remind everybody. The question was, have you ever tried or used no-code tools? So this is encouraging to see, guys, right? We see that over 43% said yes, we are using no-code tools to customize our system, right? We also see followed close behind that no, but I would really love to. So we see that it's being embraced, and if you haven't used it, then they want to get involved. Well, you have a whole panel of people here you can reach out to, folks. So
yeah, if you haven't tried no code, you gotta talk to us. We'll
That's
show
right.
you.
Exactly.
Show you the light.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm getting the sign for wrap up here, guys. Are there any, final thoughts from the panel on, again, how do we simplify CRM for, for our clients? I'll open it up for any final words or thoughts that we have.
It's easy. We can do anything with Creatio. Connectors, templates, dashboards. It's all like drag and drop, really. Super easy.
Yeah, thanks, Julius.
Yeah, and I think this is just the door for other types of technology. We have chatbots, cobots, workflow tools, intelligent automation, voice and conversational technology. So this is just the door that opens other types of technology for your company. So don't be afraid of it.
That's a good suggestion, Gabriella. Thanks.
Let's say start easy, start simple, and as you add on whatever you add on functionalities, other tools that connect with it, take the time every year maybe to do review. What do we really use? What do we need to change, and what do we need to remove?
Perfect. Thanks, Damien.
Yes, it's about organization change at the end, giving more power to your citizen developers to be in control and give shape to the organization transformation and being more agile to the market conditions. That's what I feel like. So find these, I would say, talented or committed citizen developers, give them the tool, let them build a story of success and leverage of it on it organization-wise.
Wonderful. Thanks, Georgie. That's amazing, guys. Thank you very much. Again, I love these. This is a great way to wrap up our sessions, right? Is to have these discussions. They're never long enough. We could talk about this for hours, I feel. But Damien, Georgie, Julius, Gabriella, thank you very much for joining us today. I'm sure the audience, really appreciated your insights. I know that the chat has been on fire here with some comments. So thank you very much, guys, and enjoy the rest of your days. And we hope to see you again at another session.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, guys. I love those. I love those panel discussions, guys. It's always good to hear thought leadership from our partners and customers alike. So I hope everybody enjoyed our session today. A lot of things to think about when it comes to marketing and how do we leverage our no-code tools for that. So I'd like to remind everybody that the fun continues tomorrow. We're moving on to day 9. We're going to be talking about industry workflow automation for sales tomorrow. So I know this is an important topic. We're going to have some great sessions. It's going to be jam-packed. We have 5 sessions tomorrow. So thought leadership session, real life no-code experience. We'll have a success story with Mediska. Great organization, great reference story there. We'll have our digital circle, and again, wrapping up the day with some key discussion. So please be sure to join us tomorrow. And as we've been communicating throughout the event, we want to also encourage everybody to go out and register for our Freedom release that's coming up February 8th. This is going to be a major product announcement, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that, with the greater audience. So please feel free to go out to our site, be able to register for the event, and we're really hoping to see everybody there. So that wraps up day 8, and guys, thank you very much again for joining.